Okay, so we can go at our own pace.
Oh, that's good.
Needs a little heat. Okay. Perfect. Close the door just perfect. Okay, so Bezrat Hashem. What did we do yesterday?
Down near the bottom of Memhay Aleph.
Mm-hmm.
Different kinds of guarding.
Right.
Shemira Ma'ora and Shemira
Bechusa.
Yeah, and yeah.
Right.
Certain.
What was the Gemorah's question?
He took at the young page. He was saying from the Baraisa. They are obligated to show the value of the executed costs of the Torah with an exception. The unpaid Shoma says comparing the or contrasting or comparing the unpaid Shoma to the other three.
Right.
And the Gemora is asking what how come this is so? Wants to explain it.
Okay, what was the din that the Brisa told us that the Shomer Chinam is different than all the other three Shomrim? What was that din? This is the Sefer of this Brisa. Starts Tona Rabban, at the middle of the lower middle of the page.
The Tana Rabbanim, the rabbis taught that there are four Ava Nichnaso Tachas Havalim. There are four people that take the place of the owner when they have the oxen, and it means that these are liable for damage.
Okay.
And they are Elohim, Shomer Chinam, Shoel, Shomer Chinam, which is an unpaid Shomer, Shoel, borrower. Is that from the word to ask, Shomer?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, what's that?
Right. That's generally the question when somebody asks a question of you. The question is, can I borrow X?
Right.
So he's called the Shoel, he's called the Axer.
And turn this off.
Yeah, we have enough distractions in this room.
And so that's those two. Then there's Tachas, Habarim. Oh no, sorry. And there's Noseh, Sechor.
Right, someone who guards and he takes schar for it. He gets paid for it, being a shomer.
He's a paid guard. That's he doesn't sort of use the animal. And then there's the
Socher.
The person who rents.
He rents the shore. He doesn't have a shore of his own. He doesn't ask you to borrow it. He's willing to pay for it. So he's called a socher.
So the Gemora is going to explain, as we did, the responsibilities of each. Anyway, Haragul, so if the ox was, while the ox was under the Shomer's, it's got here the Shomer's jurisdiction, it's killed a person.
Right.
Does that mean, this is what Article has written, the Shomer's jurisdiction, but does that mean the Shomer or any of those four?
Any of these four?
Any of these four means. It's not specifically one of the Shomer, right?
Well, actually each one of them is a shomer.
Yeah.
Even somebody who borrows an animal and doesn't pay anything for it, he has a duty to be a shomer over the animal that it doesn't do damage. And if it does, he's liable.
So it killed a person.
Yeah.
Now, Oregul, it killed a person. Tamin, Neheragin, Ufatorin, Min, Hakofer. So if it was a tamin, it's put to death, and the shomrim are exempt from the kofer.
Shomer will be exempt.
Because it's a tam.
Right.
Now, muadin, if it was a muad, and the herigin is put to death, umashal min es a kofer. And because it was a muad, the shomrim pay the kofer. Who's that? That's his phone, is it?
Yeah, should we give him back his phone? It's rather bothersome, isn't it?
Yes.
Let him suffer in his own place with his phone. Yeah. It makes noise. It makes noise that's bothersome.
He wasn't happy.
No, actually, it doesn't belong to Rabbi Firman.
Who?
somebody else. I guess the person doesn't realize that
Yeah. All right.
it bothers people.
So,
Otherwise, I'm sure he wouldn't do it.
all right. Coming back. So just Mordecai. Sorry, that it gets messages or something and it keeps dinging. It's a bother. Can you? Is it possible to put it somewhere else? Or turn it off while it's charging? Thank you. It keeps on dinging and things like that. It's distracting. Thank you. Alright, so if it was a mu'ad, it's put to death, and the shomrim pay kofar.
The shomer pays kofar. Okay.
But only when it's a mu'ad.
Okay.
V'yavin lahachazir tamei shor liver alive chutz meshuma chinam. And they are obliged. Oh right, and the shomrim, I assume, are obliged to return the value of the executed ox to the owner, but with the exception of the unpaid shomer.
Okay. Just for a point of information, your art scroll says that who's going to pay this kofar?
It doesn't say.
Doesn't say.
And they have obligate. I just meant, sorry. It was more they are put to death, and they pay the kofar.
They pay the kofar. Okay,
yeah,
so we don't know who they.
It doesn't say they, but I've got a note here that the shomrim. I don't know where I got that from. It may have been from.
Maybe what I said. I'm not sure if that's so.
No, or it could have been from the Daf Yomi when we did this.
Oh, okay. Because I have over here that it's the owner that pays. So we'll have to investigate that next time we see this Gemora. But in any case, that's not our issue right now.
Yes.
The issue is that in terms of the liability of the shomer to pay for the value of the animal, because the animal is going to become executed, going to be executed, and so the owner doesn't have his animal anymore, and that's only because the shomer neglected to watch it, even though he knew that it was a mu'ad, or he's supposed to know. But the exception is the shomer chinam is going to be not liable to have to give to pay for the fact that the animal is being executed. So that's the case that our Gemora is trying to understand. Why is it that the shomer chinam is exempt and the other three are liable? This is the question of the Gemora. So everything that follows is really is a result of that question. Okay, so let's just go over the steps very quickly before we go, because we already did this Gemora before. We did some good Chazorah, and now we're going to go over the steps that the Gemora takes from here. Step 1, the Gemora asks, Amre Hechi Domi, what exactly are the facts of the case of the Brisa, where the Shomer Chinam is patur and the other three are liable? He did not tray. If they guarded the animal, so then and it nevertheless went out to do damage and killed, afilu kulu nami withdrew. Even all the shomrim should be off the hook. And Rashi's told us, well that's with the exception of the shoah, because he's always on the hook. he's always on the hook. If damage happens, he has to pay for it, even if it's not his fault. But, so that cannot be the case that the Bryce is talking about. So on the other hand, idolo natre, so if you'll tell me that he didn't guard the animal, so then afilu shomer chinam dechayev? So then why should the shomer chinam be off the hook if he didn't guard the animal? Because he was negligent to not guard the animal gored and killed, why should he be off the hook? Why should he be exempt from having to reimburse the owner for the animal? That's the Gemora's question. That's clear. On that, the Gemora answered, Amrei, Hagamayas Kinan de Natre, Shmir Pokusa. What we're talking about here in this brisa is that there was guardian, it was guarded the animal, but it was guarded what we call a Shmira Pokusa. A minimal level of guarding was given to the animal. Below Natre Shmira Ma'ula, but not a complete guarding was made of the animal. So in that case, says the Gemora, where a Shmira Pahusa was given, Shomer Chinam, Kalsa Lo Shmirasai. Hanak Lo Kalsa Shmirasai. So with this minimal level of guardian, the Shomer Chinam has fulfilled his obligation. That's enough for him to guard the animal a Shmira Pahusa. That he is not considered to be negligent and therefore liable. But the others, they are getting a benefit from this animal, from this deal. The shoal certainly is getting benefit. He gets free usage of the animal, and he doesn't have to pay anything for it. So he certainly is going to be liable over here to give a full guardianship over the animal. If he doesn't, he's going to be liable. And the paid guardian is also, he's getting benefit from guarding the animal. He's getting paid to guard the animal. So if you get paid to guard, you have to give a full guardian, and if you don't, you're going to be liable. And in terms of the who's the other one? Those are the three. The renter. We said the renter. True. True that he has to pay, but he is getting the benefit of usage of the animal. So he's also benefiting from this arrangement over here. So to him we also give an obligation to guard a full guardianship, guarding. And if he doesn't do so, he's liable. But the Shomer Chinam, what does he get from this whole deal? He's got, all he has is a responsibility, and he's not getting anything for it. He has an obligation to guard the animal because he undertook to do so, to be a shomer. He could have said, "No, I don't want to do that." Okay, so fine. So he's not a shomer, but he said, "I will do it." How much will you pay me? Nothing. Okay, I'll do it anyway. So how much guarding does he have to give? Minimal guarding, because he agreed to be a guardian. But here we're saying that he did give a minimal level of guarding. But nevertheless, the animal, that wasn't enough to prevent the animal from doing what it did. But in any event, that explains why he's going to be exempt, whereas the other ones are going to be liable.
So all the other ones then haven't done their job properly.
Right.
That's the problem. Have they done their job properly, and had they therefore had no control over what the ox did because they did their best they could, that would be a different story.
Right?
Okay.
Right. If they did what they were required to do, in other words, all four of them in the Brisa gave only a Shmir Pachusa. But that's only a sufficient amount of guarding for the Shomer Chinam to give. But the other three, that's insufficient. We demand of them to give a Shmir Ma'ula, a full guarding. And since they didn't do so, they're at fault. and if they're not doing what they were supposed to do, results in damage, they're going to be liable for the damage. Okay. Now, in the next step, the Gemora is trying to determine which Tana is the author of this Brisa. Whose opinion does this Brisa go according to? It has to go according to somebody's opinion. And the Gemora has a question. It doesn't appear to be going according to any Tana that we know of. It says the Gemora like this: Amr, come on. According to whose opinion does this Brisa follow? Ika Rebbe Meir. If you'll tell me that it goes according to Rebbe Meir, this Brisa, that's difficult. The Amar Socher Kishomer Chinam Dami. Rebbe Meir holds that the renter has the same status and the same liability and obligations as a shomer as a shomer chinam, as a shomer who is not paid at all. He equates the two of them. Now, what's wrong? What's problematic with saying that the Brisa holds according to Rebbe Meir, if that's so, Roy? If Rebbe Meir holds that the renter has the same level of responsibility and therefore liability as the shomer chinam,
we don't have to pay. No, then he is not liable for anything.
right? He's just like the shomer chinam is not liable over here for giving a shmira puchusa. So too the shomer, so too the socher should be off the hook for giving a shmira puchusa.
But if we go by the word similar in English, I don't know how it is in Greek, word similar doesn't mean the same. It means very, very closely the same. So there might be some sort of difference.
Well, dummy means the same. For all intents and purposes, it means the same. Therefore, the Gemora asks, Lisnei chutz mishomer chinam ve'hasocher. Had it gone according to Reb Meir, says the Gemora, then the Brisa should have taught that with the exception of the shomer chinam, who's not liable, and the socher, the renter, who also is not liable.
But it just said the renter.
Right. It just said the borrower.
Oh, sorry, the borrower.
Just said the borrower.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
therefore, it cannot be that the Brisa goes according to Rebbe Meir. So who else could it go according to? Says the Gemara, well, Ve'ika Rebbe Yehuda. If we would explain that the Brisa goes according to Rebbe Yehuda, now we say that Rebbe Yehuda holds to Amar Socher Kanose Sachardam. He says he differs with Rebbe Meir. He says no, the din of the renter is the same din as that of a paid guardian, not of a guardian who's not paid. The din of the socher is like the din of a guardian who is paid. True, he's not getting any money, but he is getting benefit from the animal. He's able to use it, and even though he is paying for it, but that's a benefit that he's getting. That he has the ability to use the animal. So in that sense, he is compared to a paid guardian. The paid guardian, he's not allowed to use the animal. He's only required to guard it, but he is getting paid for it. So so we could see that they're comparable. So according to this, if we say that the socher, the renter, should have the same din as the paid guardian, says the Gemora, if so, nisni chutz mishom achinam v'kulan b'mu'adin peturin le'inyan kofer. Okay, what does this mean over here? We should have taught in the Mishnah that the Shomer China would be an exception, and then it should have read V'kulan, all the Shomrim, V'mu'adin, if the animal would be a mu'ad, then they would be Paturin, the Inyan Kofer.
What Rabbi Yehuda said.
Rabbi Yehuda said that a renter, socher, can no say socher domi. A renter is comparable in the din, how he's judged, to a paid guardian. So that would explain why that will explain why the Brisa does not mention that the socher is pater, because he's got a din like the paid guardian. Just like the paid guardian is liable if he gives only a shmir pachusa, a minimal guarding, the animal goes out and does damage. So too, the socher, who's comparable to this paid guardian, according to Rabbi Yehuda, he will also be liable. That will explain very nicely why the Brisa only mentions the shomer chinam, the unpaid guardian, as being exempt. But the Gemora says it's still not a good fit to say that the Brisa goes according to Rabbi Yehuda. Why? See, we have to see what Rashi says over here, because there's something here that's not, it doesn't, let's see what Rashi says. Ve'i Rabbi Yehuda. It's the second line of Rashi from the top of the page. Ve'i Rabbi Yehuda. Ve'i Rabbi Yehuda. Heicha de Shamro Shmira Pachusa Amay Meshalmim Kofer. Where they gave a Shmira Pachusa, a minimal standard level of guarding, and that's what we're talking about in the Brisa. Amai Mishalmim Kofer. Why would they have to pay Kofer in the case where the animal was a mu'ad?
Good to see you, sir.
What does it say
So run away later.
What does it say in our Brisa?
This one comes to tell us how to receive your...
It says that the
You can be as firm as you want.
2 o'clock.
Should be penniless.
2 o'clock at the
Person here.
No, 2 o'clock.
It says that they will pay out a kofir, the shomer. If it's a mud, they'll pay it out. But according to Rabbi Yehuda, Rashi tells us something that the Gemora didn't reveal to us. That all the Gemora revealed to us that according to Rabbi Yehuda, the shomer, the socher has the same din as the shomer socher. But that's not the issue. That just explains why the Brisa says that only the shomer chinam is off the hook. Fine. We understand why it doesn't mention that the socher is also off the hook. It doesn't explain to us the problem that the Gemora is bringing up now. The Gemora is saying that according to what Rabbi Yehuda holds, the Mishnah, the Brisa should have said, Nisnei chutz mishomer chinam, but kulon and all of the shomrim, in regard to the din being of animal being a muad, keturim the imin kofir. They'll be exempt from having any liability of kofir. Okay. Baruch Hashem for Rashi. Rashi told us the din that Rabbi Yehuda holds. Without that Rashi, we'd have no idea. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, muad sagilei b'shmira puchusa. So says Rabbi Yehuda. Okay. Has v'shalom, Roy.
After the shiur.
Go home and review it hundreds of times.
Aside from that,
Aside from that. Okay, goodbye. Rabbi Moore is waiting.
Tell me, I want to ask you.